the pee.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin here with Entertaining Entropy. Maybe you've heard of me. If not, either way, I'd like to say something. You look fantastic today. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. I'm recapping why I got into cryptocurrencies in the first place, the tokens that I got into, and the journey that I've been taking to get to where I am today. Reinforcing the ideology that got me into the coins that I'm in, trying to research and figure out the tokenomics and the stuff, and try to figure out, is there any red flags, the things that I should pull out right away? Or are there really good investments here that I can see a good future for? So going over things, initially starting with the coins that I'm interested in, but explaining a little bit about those coins themselves, getting a little bit of understanding about them. I'm going to be starting off with Ethereum and Bitcoin, really. Just, here on this episode, it's something that everyone's going to end up with. You're going to have gas fees. You're going to have things that you want to get into, but they're just good, solid foundations to start with. Listen, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just recapping my journey to let you guys know. Maybe you can follow along. Maybe you get something out of it. Check out some of my other videos if you think that's interesting. I build a mining rig, computer. I get into Decentraland. I go for the metaverse, NFTs, technology, investing. We do it all here on Entertaining Entropy. Trying to learn together, earn together, guys. That's my motto. And if you like what you see, leave me some comments. Hit me with some questions. I love engagement. And we'll get into it right here on the channel. So really, starting with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those were the first two that began. Bitcoin, the old grandpa coin there, right? She's been around since the beginning, 2008 there. But she's got some kinks. She's got this proof of work mentality. She's running out, but there's so much money in there, I don't think she's gonna go away. Ethereum, the second sister there of Bitcoin. She's invented some smart contracts. She's got some cool new hip things that she's doing, but she's got a little kink. She's got a little slowness to her as well. High gas fees, youch. So Ethereum is good to get into so that I can make sure I can make transactions, holding in on some of these cryptocurrencies to make sure that they ain't going anywhere, and I bet you that we're going to have ourselves a good time. STX and some of the other functionalities that are being added into these coins are really bringing them back into the mainstream, bringing them back into front of mind, and that's why I feel like they're still good investments to have. There's so much money in these. There's a lot of people that are trying to say, how do we stick in this and keep making money? They don't want to just pull it all out. They want to keep printing bills. So let's help them do that. Let's join the game. So the first coin that I probably got into is Chainlink, and Chainlink is really focused around smart contracts, and initially that's all I really know, and that was enough for me. Smart contracts represent algorithms that are performed automatically by computers with predetermined conditions. So two parties that have no relation whatsoever can have a secure transaction. This can be associated with NFTs, this can be associated with purchases of coins. It could also be associated with things like sporting events where I would bet something, somebody else would make a bet, and some computer would pay out the winner. So when you're thinking about smart contracts and you're going into the future, there's going to be tons of new applications that are adopting smart contracts. How does Chainlink play into that behavior and that process? Well, Chainlink, it represents a whole bunch of these oracles. And oracles are feeding information into these smart contracts because smart contracts, you think you're going to need some trusted source to be able to say what is that determined outcome, right? In the example of sporting events, what was the score? If it wasn't based on score and something more specific, we need sort of a referee to say this is the outcome. And that trusted source is the Chainlink oracles. These oracles are actually incentivized in the link token, the Chainlink token, and in that way they are a trusted source that if they actually report incorrect information, their accounts are slashed. In order to become an oracle, they also have to be holding a certain amount of link, so they are trusted in that way as well, that they are sort of an entity of a certain status, a certain level, but also are guided and sort of incentivized to make the right choice and do the things that we want them to do for the smart contract network. Alright, so the next coin that I got into on my journey was Cardano. And Cardano to me still seems like the future of cryptocurrencies. It's changing a lot of the traditional aspects and issues that we found with Bitcoin and Ethereum. One of the main ways is by using proof of stake instead of proof of work. So proof of work is the traditional style where computers with a lot of resources are generating an algorithm, this takes a lot of power, and this consumption is a draw on our systems, and countries have actually been outlawing the mining of cryptocurrencies for the power draw and the issues that it's been causing. So Cardano, by using a proof-of-stake technology, instead just has users hang on to the tokens, and then by hanging on to tokens, their network is giving out payouts in the form of staking. So this ends up being a lot more environmentally friendly and a better way to fuel that network and infrastructure. Cardano also has a lot of speed and scalability in the way that it was designed, and it aims to be the network that really is the internet of cryptocurrencies. It's trying to have communication between the different blockchains and cryptocurrency networks to be able to allow you to transfer information, data, NFTs, maybe currency, and from that really give unity and connection for all the blockchains that are on the network. Cardano is also keeping the traditional banking system in mind, where a lot of coins fall short is in identity and verification not being anonymous. So it does in some payment systems allow an option to give your identity to the seller or to the buyer and then appease those traditional banking systems, making it easier for them to understand and adopt. Cardano at this time has a supply cap of 45 billion coins, and it really has a lot of future technologies being brought into it, smart contracts, NFTs, and some really neat stuff that's being adopted there. Alright guys, so you would think I'm embarrassed, but I'm not. The next coin that I have is Dogecoin. Yes, it was originally created as a joke, I get that, but it honestly could be one of the best attributes that Doge has going for it. Because Dogecoin was originally created with no ulterior motives and no mission in mind, it really has the most genuine of appearances that I have found from any cryptocurrency. There are so many, what I think, scams and spammers trying to push their projects on you, because there are hundreds of altcoins, like literally hundreds, thousands probably, and they're all claiming to be the best. They all want to be number one. They're all changing the world, promising things in the future that are unreal. Dogecoin doesn't do anything like that. They're honestly giving back to the community from what I could find. No real advertising, no pushing their agenda on you. They could be just the global currency, and they are already being accepted at Tesla for some forms of payment, but Elon Musk being on board from the very beginning isn't the only person. Robinhood has publicly admitted that most of their transactions in their past year here, and I believe it was 2022 or 2021, was actually going to be all involved in Dogecoin. And why? Because they too believe that it is something that is not going away. Dogecoin has also been accepted on some of the major exchanges as well. Celsius has a very small amount of tokens that it offers to give staking payouts for, and Dogecoin actually just became one of those as well. So for some reason it's sticking around. I think it's because it has a real genuine outlook. It's not something that is trying to push in your face some sales pitch or something. They're just some public Shiba Inu that is, a meme that created a really positive community, and it has a really good backing and fundamental ideology. So some other coins that I end up having are Gala and DFL. DFL, DeFi Land Tokens, is actually tied into a game that I've talked about in a few of my other episodes. I'm super obsessed with it. It's my favorite play to earn NFT, decentralized finance platform, and you end up getting some of their tokens to use in their ecosystem, but also to believe in their projects going forward. So one way to really get into something early and see the future is to find something that you really like that is just starting up and buy some of their tokens. So I've done that, and I've also got into some of their NFTs, but I think DeFi Land is really going far, so I'm going to be holding those for the long term. I've actually started to stake those in their application as well and get payouts to really maximize my interest in what I'm getting into with their token. Another token that I've recently got into is Gala, and they have a lot of games, play to earn aspects that you can get into, and I see them having a bright future. They just partnered with Snoop Dogg, so they're making Gala music to be able to change the music industry. NFTs have been used for pictures and a number of different things, but now they're going to change the music industry and make music into NFTs and blockchain technology. So pretty cool stuff, and definitely feeling like there's a big future with Gala Games. The total supply of DFL tokens is 10 billion, and the total supply of Gala tokens is 35 billion. Feels like a lot. Gala has a lot of inflationary aspects of their token, but I do feel like at some point they're going to start to add deflationary aspects to really start to drive the price down. So the other coin that I'm holding is Stacks, STX, and this is a coin that is bringing Bitcoin back into the mainstream. Why? Because Bitcoin is missing a couple neat futuristic ideas. NFTs, smart contracts, decentralized finance. With STX, they can get all those things. So it's really bringing Bitcoin back up into the mainstream. And with STX too, you can actually stake your STX and get paid out in Bitcoin. 30, 60, 90 days. I think you're able to do this on Binance for a very small amount of a fee. It may not be available in your country, but it's something to check out. STX is also going to be one that has only 1.8 billion coins in its total supply. So it ends up being one that I think is going to be jumping up in value. It's pretty cheap right now because it's tied to Bitcoin. It really is in the focus of the public eye, and it doesn't have any competitors, so I don't see it going away anytime soon. It was a great idea to add this type of functionality to a blockchain that feels like it's dying, and maybe with additional functionality and changing of what they're doing, they can keep Bitcoin relevant and secure Bitcoin's future. So a really neat coin to get into. Another coin that I just have to give a tip of the hat to is Polygon, and this is one that I find really popular on OpenSea. A lot of people use Polygon to trade there because it has a lot cheaper fees than if you're trying to use Ethereum. Polygon is a layer 2 coin that is built on top of Ethereum, but tries to fix a lot of the issues that we did see with Ethereum, like speed of transaction, gas fees. Polygon is working in parallel with Ethereum, where it is basically capturing a snapshot every once in a while to sort of check in with how that blockchain is doing, make sure that they're still in parallel. But where it has a total supply of 10 billion coins, it ends up being its own contender. Polygon, or Matic, is really changing the way that we're looking at Ethereum. So in the similar way that we saw with STX, it is really bringing an older coin into the mainstream and giving it that kind of scalability and functions that we would see in altcoins. Alright, and so one way that I actually cheat in my investing of cryptocurrencies is I use an application called Makara. And what this does is it actually allows you to put your investments into baskets based on a couple of questions that you answer. And what this does is it actually gives you a little small percentage of a ton of different tokens. And that way you're spreading out your investment across a number of different projects and portfolios to give yourself really the best chance at better investing and better returns. Makara is available right now in the US. I think it's available worldwide, but if you needed to get a referral code, let me know and I can always drop that in the comments section. Makara is really cool because it's adding a lot of news and ease of financing, but it is also giving itself some more day trading and functionality that they'll be adding in the future. So more to come on that for sure. Alright guys, so now time for my favorite coin, Solana. And sure, Solana is one of my favorites because it's tied to DeFi land and some of these other really cool projects which if you'll hear me rave about in some of my other videos are the coolest things that are happening, at least in my opinion. And really, Solana is also cool because it's got a lot of neat tokenomics. Going back and doing research on this coin, I found it has both inflationary and deflationary aspects, but it doesn't have a limit to the total number of coins that will ever be produced. It has an inflationary schedule though, so for example, in 2023 it should have about 700 million coins and then continue to inflate at a rate of 1.5% in the years following. So really adding to the pool and always going to be going up, up, and up, but they also have deflationary aspects to burn coins that are used in transactions. Used to be 100%, but now is at 50%. So Solana is really, in a way, balancing out that adding and removing of coins in a really nice way. Solana is also using a functionality called Proof of History, which allows it to speed up its transactions. Stamping the time on a transaction, normally computers would have to communicate back and forth, what time is it? It's this time, wasting a lot. And this now, by stamping the time, saves that and boasts Solana up to 710,000 transactions per second, something like that. Visa would be around 74,000 transactions. So really showing a lot of power and scalability with this particular product, although they are still in beta. They just recently released a patch that actually broke and congested the environment, so there's been a lot of pushback from that. But because it's in beta, it could show that there's a lot more for this coin to offer, and we are just getting started. Solana is really one of my favorites and one that I'm going to be investing in and hanging on to, and obviously being one that is used in some of my favorite projects, one that I'm kind of falling into anyways. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I know it was kind of more of a personal challenge for me to show why did I get these coins in the first place, but hopefully following my journey you got a little bit out of the mentality, the ideology that I use to reinforce my investments, and here just trying to get into things that are going to have a future. Never investing more than I can afford to lose. These types of mindsets are going to keep me in the winning stages of investing, and I hope you guys are learning and earning together here with me on my channel. Check out some other episodes. I got investing, I got cryptocurrencies, technology, NFTs, building your own mining rig. Heck, we'll do it all. If you wanted to ask me questions, I'd love to hear from you. Say hello, leave me some comments on what you'd like to see, and if you wanted me to check out any projects, I can do that too. Hope you have a wonderful time investing. Have a great day.